Hello friends, welcome to Walter Limited. I'm James. Today we're going to get the second installment, or what's next, on my LEGO display shelves. This is where we ended last time with the space setups, the classic and neoclassic space setups. Today we're going to find out what goes on the shelves next, on those two top left shelves that you see. And as an added bonus, you can find out what LEGO set made me cry. The oldest set for the display today is 6083 Knight's Joust. And you'll notice from the number of this and the number of some other ones, the set number I mean, that LEGO's numbering system has absolutely no rhyme or reason. It doesn't make any sense at all. This one, 6083, released in 1981, but others that come much later with lower numbers, it just doesn't make any sense. But the pavilion is pretty cool. I like it. The flags are neat. This cypress tree is stupid amounts of money for whatever reason. And the figures are okay in this one. But the thing that I think really stands out with this set is the brick-built horses. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a much bigger fan of the custom molded horses that we get later on. But considering this is just basic bricks, plates, and slopes, these things look fantastic. The newest set that's going on my shelf today is 6075 Wolfpack Tower. It was released in 1992, and this one just always captured my imagination. For some reason, these little Wolfpack renegade guys really were one of my favorite factions. They were great. They and the Forest Men were kind of different sides of the same coin. Outlaws, renegades, one doing good, one doing not so good. If you wouldn't mind helping me out with a like and subscribing down below if you like content like this. Probably the most important set to my LEGO experience, even more so than the Galaxy Explorer that we talked about in the last edition of what goes on my shelves, is this one. 6074 Black Falcon's Fortress. This is the first large-scale castle set, and by today's standard, it's a tiny set. It was released in 1986. I believe I got it for Christmas in 1987. It was either 1987 or 1988, one of the two. And I absolutely loved this set. This set actually, this is my original set, and if you look closely at some of it, you will see that it has had some severe play wear. It has, ridden hard and put away wet. Definitely a very loved set, but came with a great amount of figures. It has 2, 4, 6 figures that come with it, the 2 horses. It has several different areas for play, plus you can open it. There's all kinds of different imagination that can go on here. The Black Falcons were and still are one of my favorites, and this set started it all. As far as my castle journey, this is the one. And the clips on that flag are still intact, and it's the one from my childhood. So that thing has been played with, had the daylights played out of it, and still good to go. So as I'm going through my favorite sets from my childhood and figuring out what to put on my display, let me know what was really important to you growing up, and if you have any stories of heartbreak that go along with your LEGO story. Now, if the Black Falcon's Fortress and the Wolfpack are a couple of my favorite sets, and specifically Black Falcon's Fortress is one of the most important sets in my LEGO journey, probably the most important theme from growing up, from playing with LEGO ever, was the following one. Now, this isn't the first set that I ever got as far as this theme goes, but I'm going to go through them mostly in reverse chronological order. The Forestman's River Crossing. At some points, I kind of think, based on the titles of these, that it might have almost been better to call them Watermen, because you got all kinds of water involved in the titles of these sets. Forestman's River Crossing, though, excellent. The only female in the entire original series of Forestman comes in this set, and she is dumb expensive. But this set is great. Not that many pieces. I didn't have this one as a kid. I only acquired this a couple of years ago. But, you know, great little build, lots of play here. You got places to go in and out of, storage area. You got lookout posts. You can cross the bridge, although the horse can basically step from one side to the other, so maybe not the most important river crossing? I don't know. Incredibly important set from the most probably important theme to me from growing up. Next up is another one that I did have as a kid. 1877 Crusaders cart. I love this thing. Play features in the set this small. The bed lifts up, you could hide somebody underneath there. You'd have to be a pretty terrible law enforcement officer to not notice the giant space underneath. But hey, you know, people didn't see that well back then. I don't know. But the really crazy thing about this set is this North America version is the one that I have. Apparently, in the UK, a different set, or the same set, essentially. I mean, it is part for part exactly the same, other than you get an additional Forestman. For whatever reason, the one that released in the UK has a third Forestman. So, to consider my Forestman collection complete, you know, whatever that means, I wanted to have the UK one as well. So that's both of the Crusaders cards. The UK one is numbered 1680 as opposed to the US one numbered 1877, or the North American one numbered 1877. Again, the forest water theme. The Forestman's River Fortress. So, you know, an interesting set, cool little boat, several guys, but probably the most interesting thing to me is that the entire back opens up, and it's really very sturdy, and you can get at the entire inside. Now, there's not a lot of interior space to play in, but you can take advantage of every bit of interior space that there is, and you can imprison your lion knight down there in the murky, dank, wet, gross cell standing in the water. One thing I'm really grateful for with this set is that building techniques have improved, and usually they're not as fragile like this one. These, of course, now that I'm doing it, like, they just pop off. Like, any kid playing with this, you are going to knock those off 10 times out of 10. Like, any pressure on them, they just pop right off. It's only 2 studs holding it on. It's pretty tall, tons of leverage. The stuff inside bangs up against it. Not the height of Lego set building sturdiness. Also, again, what law enforcement official is not seeing that giant trunk underneath a couple hay bales? I mean, it's pretty good from this angle. But, like, that is not good. Not that smugly of a hayride. So Smuggler's Hayride and Forestman's River Fortress were both 1989 sets, as opposed to the 3 1990 sets, or the 2 and a little bit 1990 sets with the 2 Crusaders carts and the Forestman River crossing. In 1989, we got 6054, the Forestman's Hideout, which was remade just recently. And this one is another excellent set. Not a ton of parts, but again, tons of play value, opens up, lots of leaf pieces. Sure, the trees are black, but who hasn't heard of the Black Forest? That's where the best ham comes from, right? So, there it is. 6054, Forestman's Hideout from 1988. Gem. This is 6066, Camouflage Outpost. Now this one also opens up, a great feature of all of these Forestman sets. Open up, get at the interiors. Now this one doesn't just open up with the big swing. You also can open up like the cave right here. You've got tons of options for getting in and out of it. You've got places to go up top. I don't know why you put a bright red flag on your Camouflage Outpost from 1987. Maybe red works different as camouflage in a forest than I understand. I don't know. But during my time in the Army, putting a bright red thing on things that were in a green place wasn't really recommended. At any rate, this set has the best story behind it. Again, this is the one from my childhood, but this one was not mine. So the same year that I got the Black Falcon's Fortress for Christmas, my little brother got this one, which is great. We were both excited, but I was actually in tears. Why was I in tears? Well, let's just say I thought both of them were going to be for me, and I knew what they were. Yeah, earlier in the year, like probably a month or so before Christmas, hey, spoiler alert, parents hide Christmas gifts from their kids. Most parents aren't very great at it. Anyway, I was looking for something else in my parents' room, and I stumbled across some Christmas gifts in my mom's closet, I believe it was. Might have been my dad's. I don't remember anymore. But at any rate, I found the Black Falcon's Fortress and the Camouflage Outpost. And I was stoked. Stoked. Just absolutely just fired up. And it was everything that I could do to contain myself for the next month or so until Christmas. And then Christmas morning rolls around, and we start pulling stuff out from under the tree, and I'm shaking my presents, and oh yeah, one of them shakes like Lego. All right, I open that one up, boom, Black Falcon's Fortress. I'm going through the rest of my presents. None of the rest of them shake like Lego. They don't shake like Lego, and so I'm like, oh no, what's happened? And then I look over at my brother, and he's tearing into this one, and he is just ecstatic as well, because he got this one. Same year. He got the Camouflage Outpost. And so there I am, knowing that I was getting both of them for Christmas, and I just burst into tears because not only did I have my heart set on the Black Falcon's Fortress, but I also wanted the Camouflage Outpost that ended up going to my brother. Now, it was always going to my brother, but I didn't know that. And so I was devastated. Even though I got the amazing Black Falcon's Fortress set, I was devastated that my brother got the Camouflage Outpost. So yeah, sorry Mom and Dad, didn't mean to ruin Christmas for myself by finding that early. But hey, you know, it all works out in the end. You know, as we grew up, my brother and I kind of started diverging in what we enjoyed. I ended up with all the castle anyway. So in the end, really, it was a Christmas present for me. But this one is the crown jewel to me of all of the Forestman sets, which is probably my favorite theme growing up. There it is. There we are. Have the sets on the shelf, and you get the overall view as well of how this is shaping up. Thanks for watching, and have a good one. Hello, friends. Welcome to Walk. Oh! Don't do that. Anyway, as I was saying, but like you'd have to be, wow, dropping everything. So, whoop.